just a special boy, never talking no harm. He speaks like he's insane, he's had trouble with his brain since the day he was born. Puffing his vapes, taking his pills. Some people talk about your problems, but Gus never will. Getting through life and no one understands how. So sit down and talk with Gus on Puff Up Peace Now.
Welcome back to another episode of Puff Puff Peace, and I'm very happy. This man needs no introduction. Former boss of mine. I can proudly say the first person he's fired. Mr. One Podcast Jesus himself, Kirk Minihane. Kirk, thank you so much for taking time today to come.
Why would you introduce me then if you said I did not need introduction?
Because it's a habit of mine.
Okay. To introduce people?
Introduce people, say I'm going to do something, and then do the complete opposite.
That is true. That is true. I can't argue that. I cannot argue that.
And one of the things that
the fucking dogs already.
Yeah,
I'm seconds in.
I have my friend downstairs. I had to go pick him up from the dentist. Had wisdom teeth taken out today. So
who did the dogs?
No, my friend did.
Oh, gotcha.
So I had to be his driver. But one of the things that really stuck out for me, because on your show you've talked about yourself a lot, and I think a lot of people know your background.
I have. That's true. I've discussed myself on the show frequently. That is true.
So one of the things that always would stick out to me is, like, especially with your success with the case, is where did that, like, kind of interest in true crime come from? Has it been something you've always kind of been interested in and always was looking for an avenue to do it, or was this kind of something that you followed these stories and it's like, I think there's more to this, and you kind of just went into it that way?
I think probably over like the last 10 years or so, true crime interest in me has definitely peaked, or 15 years, whatever, as the genre has gone up. I just like investigating, whether it was like I did the Cullen stuff back at the EI, stuff like that, or, whatever. So I knew it was a huge space in podcasting. And I knew Barstool, the company I worked for, a huge company, hadn't really gotten into it yet. So it seemed like a natural marriage. And like I said, I was interested in a couple of things. So I reached out to Dave Portnoy and said, hey, I want to do this. He said, great, go for it. Do whatever you want. And we jumped in. I didn't jump into season 1 with having any idea what story we were going to do. I don't think. Maybe Steve will say I'm wrong if I go back and think of it. I remember wanting to do true crime for a while. I actually think, honestly, even when I was at EI and I had my podcast there, I had pitched a couple of different podcast series to Tim Murphy there. One was an original series, like a fiction series about the fixing of a college basketball game. I had written an episode. And I wanted to do like 6, and he said, that's interesting, went away. But another one was an investigation into what was going on with Marty Walsh at the time and his girlfriend, basically, how the power she had over him. So stuff like that I was already looking at. And, the case can be, we call it an investigative series because it doesn't have to be a murder. Like, it could be, it could be the Catholic Church. It could be a politician. It doesn't always have to be a missing person or a dead body. So, yeah, I think it goes back to even before Barstool, that's for sure.
Were you kind of like, even as a kid, always a naturally curious person, getting in trouble? Like, if like, I know one story, my father got kicked out of Sunday school because he kept saying, like, questioning, how did this happen? How did this happen?
Yeah. I got kicked out of CCD class in 5th grade, 6th grade, because we were talking about whatever. I'm trying to think whatever year the movie came out, the Scorsese Jesus movie. I'm trying to think what year that was. Anyway, they were talking about Mary Magdalene. I kept saying, well, she was a prostitute. And my CCD teacher was getting pissed off. And I said, but I mean, she is a prostitute. And she kicked me out of class. I don't, Last Temptation of Christ, it's called. I don't know. Sure, I was always curious as a kid. I read a ton, ton of stuff, sports books, music books, movie books, anything in my hands on, magazines, anything. I loved stats. I loved, numbers. I loved history too, movie history, music history, sports history. So yeah, always an enormous, and my son Harry's the same way, an enormous reader as a kid. I would read book after book. I would bring books to school in high school. I wouldn't read the books I had in high school. and I'd just be reading other books. Like, so yeah, I've always been curious.
So with that reading as a kid, do you think that's what's kind of helped you? I mean, you're known as one of the smarter guys at Barstool with the dozen trivia.
Yeah.
But like, do you think like having that kind of base knowledge of being able to read, whereas someone from our generation, my generation specifically, might not read as much because we grew up on front of a computer and TV and stuff. Do you think
you actually can't read?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's different. You know, I think everything's. Yeah, I think Harry's an anomaly among his friends. I know that. I don't know. I just loved doing it. My dad was a big reader. My mom, even in her own way, read like a lot of fiction stuff, like bestseller fiction. But she read a lot. We were reading household. But yet my brother Ryan and the other guy, they didn't read at all. So I don't know. But yeah, for sure, it leads to curiosity and it leads to questions and thinking. But I was always interested too in like, you know, in like All the President's Men, in Zodiac and stuff like that, like stuff like that just interests me. Doesn't mean I can do it. Doesn't mean I can solve it. But yeah, sort of the chase, the research, you know, when you do the case, you know, Steve, season 1, Dave, season 2, now season 3, they'll tell you there are days where I come into the studio to do casework just to make phone calls, just cold calls, see if we can find anybody. We could start a day. I know Steve and I did this 8 a.m., 10 p.m., you know, a couple of breaks for lunch and dinner, or whatever. And maybe we got one person on the phone for 4 minutes. And we called 200 people. So that but I like that. I like the research and the stuff better than the actual podcast itself. The leading up to it to me is more interesting.
With you, you mentioned working with both Steve and Dave as your producers on the case. What can you kind of give a little? How different is it working with someone like Steve as compared to Dave? Like on the show,
Steve's competent, which helps. You know, he's not retarded, so we do have that advantage. It was just different because the 2 seasons are so different. They both did a great job in different ways. With Steve, it was, you know, to Steve's credit, he signed to be the producer of this podcast. You know, he didn't know anything about any case. He didn't know anything about any, you know. When I said, I want to do this, he said, fucking great, let's go. And I told him about Jennifer Faye, and we were off to the races. And then we went to South Carolina probably 8 times, maybe, during it. And he was great. And it was, you know, he was super into it. But it was a different season. Dave, so much of season 2 for the case was in this studio because we didn't have the level of cooperation we had from people season 1. But Dave was good. I mean, Dave was, you know, FOIA requests and research and finding things. And even now, you know, excuse me, Dave will send me an idea like, how about this case? How about this case? How about this? I talked to this person. So, I mean, he's working very, very hard at it. Yeah. So, I mean, they've both been great in kind of different ways.
When you first approached Portnoy with the idea of the case and then kind of seeing as it goes, did you ever think it would get to this point with the meetings you're in now and kind of has taken off as it has?
Like when season 1 started?
Yeah.
No. Because I didn't think, you know, like, I just wanted to do something just to use a different muscle. And it was in the pandemic, you know, when I reached out to Dave, I think it was Portnoy, it was like September or October of 2020. So I just wanted to do something different. I had done the show for a year and a half and it was fun, but I wanted to try something else. No, I wanted to tell a story. It happened to lead to an arrest that's since been overturned, obviously, the trial of Kevin Mailer in South Carolina. But like when we started, I purposely said, let's find a small local story. So we found a story in Brockton. And I said, great, we'll never have to leave Brockton. We'll never leave that area. We can figure out what we're doing without having to go anywhere. Well, of course, it led us to upstate New York and South Carolina and all over the place. But no, I mean, in season 2, you know, led to another murder. But no, I did not think that we were going to be, and we have had meetings with, you know, production companies, with Netflix, with NBC, with Hulu, with all these people now, and it's kind of spiraling. It's going really fast. But no, when we started, I had no grand aspirations at all when we started.
Have you during the time of these investigations run up with people who have Googled you and like have seen the Kirk Minihane show, and then it's like, wait, why is this guy doing this type of thing?
Yeah, we hear that all the time. Like, I thought you were a sports guy. I still get that. And you're a Barstool. You're doing like, oh, I looked you up and you were yelling at this person and that person. The one that hurt the most, I think, was Dr. Dan, my childhood dentist, who was a terror. We're still kind of working on a series potentially about him, but I went off on the show one day and I was like, I hope his fucking grandkids are at his funeral. I'll pull his fucking teeth in front of his grave. And people involved are like, well, why are you saying that? Like, what is wrong with you? So that was a real one time where I thought sort of the two intersected. But yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I can't, if I'm going to do this show, I mean, the Kirk Minihane show, I can't worry about that. Like, if I start worrying about that for the case, I'll just stop doing this show and I'll just do the case full time, which, could happen down the road, but I'm in no rush to do that right now.
So it sounds like you're still having fun doing KMS.
Yeah, well, it's like, me, like some days I have fun, some days I don't, but like I enjoy doing the show still. We have got a good thing going. I think we're in a good groove right now. We settled in, we're in our 6th year of doing the show. So yeah, I still enjoy doing it. I think 3 days a week is a good number. We did this when we're taping this on Friday, the 22nd. We take calls like every other Friday. I actually enjoy that. Kind of feels a little old school for me, one-on-one, kind of talk to people. So yeah, I'm having a good time doing it, but it is now with this case stuff now sort of really, really ramping up, and it's going to be a tough balance over the next probably 6 to 8 months. We'll figure it out.
Earlier, you mentioned that you had an episode written for a fictional podcast, and you've done some of these one-off episodes before. Can we expect to see any of those coming back up, or if any idea comes, maybe even bring up the college basketball one and bring it here?
Maybe, yeah. I hope to. I will say things between the show. You've been involved with the planning of a live show. Now we have one coming up at the beginning of March, which is not that far away. It's less than 3 months away, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, a little more. That takes a tremendous amount of planning. The case is going on now. I mean, never say never. We might pop up and surprise you one day. But to be fair, if I'm going to be critical, we haven't done one since Cullen, I don't think. And that was 4 years ago. So
was Cullen before or after the CXX?
After, I think. No, maybe before, but whatever it was. We're talking 2020. So, yeah, it's been a while for that. And I think the case and the show and, I mean, I would like to. I have a couple of ideas, so you never know, but we'll definitely, at some point we'll surprise somebody with people with one of those. People, those are very divisive, as you know. Half the people love it, half the people hate it. So, which I like. That's a good blend.
Speaking of college basketball, how much did you enjoy playing this year with the Team KMS?
It was fun. We had a good time. I wish we won one game. But I was so beat up. My finger is still busted. I still have a little groin thing from it. But it was good. I thought we had a good thing going. We had a tremendous, from a show perspective, a tremendous amount of buzz on it, and content. No, it was good. It was, I'm still too competitive. And you'll see that in a few months on Barstool, but I still take this stuff so seriously that it's like, why can't I just have more fun? But it was good. I'm glad I think everybody pretty much enjoyed it. Well, you got banged up.
Yeah. My elbow, if I hit it anyway, I still feel
it hurts. Yeah.
It's not good.
That's the thing. We had, but it was a fun, I'm in no rush to do it again. I think it's a one-off though. It was good. It was a great show content for a few months.
There's been many moments on camera of you showing your competitive side from the Ryder Cup. Were you that way in high school too? Like, were you kind of would you start it, or would you be like the approach of, I'm not going to start it, but I'll finish it?
Either way. Yeah. Either way. It's not a good quality, comes from my dad, who definitely drilled that into us. I've tried very hard not to into my kids for sure. Maybe too much because they're not super competitive at all, which I guess is good. But yeah, I mean, for me, I remember after the first game, Mutt came up to me. He's like, "Is that what you're like?" I'm like, "Mutt, that's every game I ever played in my life was like that." And it's crazy. It's not good. It's not. You saw it this year at the mini golf thing. I snapped when I did that 30 putt hole. I fucking lost. I gave up. I was probably going to finish second in that tournament. And I think the second was like $15,000 or something, 10, whatever it was. I fucking snapped. Yeah, it's like there's just a thing. I've gotten better in some ways over the years, but yeah, it's not a good quality.
To be fair to you, though, with that mini golf, having been in a room for a Frank the Tank freak out only once,
Right.
I can't imagine being in the same group as them for that. Like that,
That was a tough couple of days.
That's more that than I think.
Yeah,
you
maybe
on that one.
Maybe could be, but yeah, when I missed it, I just went blank. I just had no, and then I looked up and Whitney was like, "You just took like 40 shots." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't fucking know what are you gonna do."
What was your favorite sport playing in high school?
Well, I mean, I've loved basketball my whole life. You know, as a kid, Larry Bird meant everything to me. So that team, that Bird, Parrish, McHale team, and it's funny. That's the one thing about this past summer that was like I hadn't played basketball for 20 years, 25 years, really, and like by the middle of there was one game where in the first half I had like 18, 20 points or something. That's geez, I'm like not terrible right now. Like as a 50-year-old, whatever, like I can still shoot. I can still do things, and it's just enough that you feel like you did when you were younger, but yet you're just that much slower. Your brain is still 16, but your body is 50. It's a weird sort of thing. But the team, you were there. The team took a ton of practices. We took it very seriously. We just weren't very good. And the teams we were playing were way younger, and some of those teams had really good players. So, I mean, there was I think maybe the game that your buddy Mick coached, maybe if I'm there, it's enough to win that game, because I think that's when I was at the trivia thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That game was pretty close, right?
Yeah. They were winning at half.
Yeah. So maybe we win that game. Maybe. And I thought we had a chance. Obviously, you made big news in that game. The game in Connecticut, we were in that game. We realized that we came to we had 4-6 points. So yeah. But it was a lot of fun. And I loved basketball as a kid. But now I can officially say I'm retired from playing basketball. That is for sure. You're breaking news here.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Do you have more fun doing the dozen or the sports geniuses? Which do you like?
Dozen is more competitive, so I enjoy that more. Sports genius is fun. Like the one we did last year, we did like a one-on-one tournament where Brandon and I do our thing. That's fun. But I like the pressure of the dozen. Like I like the stakes being really high. This is fun. I'm enjoying it. But I don't. If I lose the dozen, still it drives me fucking crazy. If I lose a match, this whatever. I mean, we haven't lost yet, but if we do, no big deal. But the dozen feels like they've done a great job making that. And most of the people in the league don't care, but a lot of people in the league do, and I do appreciate that.
Where among life moments does holding that dozen trivia trophy in Brandon's face rank?
Number one moment at Barstool for me. I saw 50 murders. That's in Chicago. Everyone hated me in the building. I won like I said, I've solved a murder with Dave Cullinane, and I've won a trivia championship with Rico Bosco. That you can't say anything else to define somebody's greatness. That was a great moment, a great night. 2 great wins. That would be my number one moment. I don't think I won the mini golf, which was fun. The Ryder Cup was awesome, but winning the dozen trivia and getting that moment with Brandon right there was definitely my favorite moment.
Some would say a movie that could be made into a movie. The Greatness of Kirk.
What kind of movie is that, Gus? What are you talking about?
If there was a movie made of Kirk Minihane,
oh Jesus,
and it could be the genius of Kirk, just kind of following.
It's like a Lenny Riefenstahl movie she made about Hitler. Like, what are you talking about? Who would watch that?
Doesn't matter who would watch it. I think it would be.
It doesn't matter if you're making a movie, doesn't it?
But wouldn't it be entertaining? Like, you don't think it would be entertaining enough? Like,
no, it exists already. You can watch it in reality.
But then you have get real behind the scenes and like kind of give people like what's it like?
How real can you get? I talk about.
I don't know.
Everyone on the show here. What else do you want?
It was just an idea. I don't know.
A terrible idea. How was the whatchamacallit going?
The what? Amazon?
No, not Amazon.
The best up.
Yes,
actually, really good.
Really?
I got some video requests out to a bunch of people, so they'll be coming in.
How long was last seat years? How long was that?
15 hours. Yeah,
Now you work. What is your job how many people are under you at Amazon?
So technically about 80 drivers we have.
Under you?
Under me. So there's the operations manager, the regional operations manager, who's oversees us in the Revere station.
Okay.
And then we have 2 operations managers who I'm below. and then 2 lead drivers, myself and Steve, and then below us are all the drivers.
How much of a raise you get for that?
I got like a $5 raise.
$5 an hour?
$5 an hour raise, yeah.
That's pretty good.
And it's guaranteed overtime every week too, just because I'm closing every night.
And things are about to get crazy, I would think, right?
Yeah, with Black Friday and the Prime sales,
Through Christmas all the way through next year.
Now through Christmas will be.
How many hours a week are you working?
Right now I'm averaging about 48.
What happened? When did you suddenly get like a work ethic? Like what changed? What snapped?
So I was holding in a lot of personal things and working through it with my therapist and trying to appear good on the outside with everything that was going on at home.
You did a great job with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then now kind of like taking like a little time away from me, refocused, get my one. I hate to admit it. I read that book Mutt recommended, Atomic Habits. I read that book.
Why doesn't he read it?
I don't know. He should.
There you go. There's a Gus sound. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
But it was just kind of like all those. And then also I went from pretty much, I'd say after the Chicago failure, I felt worthless and just gave up on everything. And then I kind of just took this as like a stopgap. Like, all right, I can just do this. It'll keep me busy. And it just kind of reinvigorated everything. And then doing some new things with some medication at home and weaning off stuff, using more sporadically for things. So
less drugs.
Kind of.
Yes.
Like my intake of drugs is yes.
Your intake of drugs is yes. What does that mean?
The amount of drugs I'm taking is less. Yes.
Gotcha.
Because it was definitely a coping mechanism before. And now working with my therapist, I found a way that I can use it as the intended purpose that I want it to be and not just to be a stoned idiot. So Are
you on drugs when you work?
No.
Okay. So you're clean.
Just like my prescription ones.
Right.
Yeah. But everything else, no. And that's helped me sleep and paying for stuff after.
And you're not moving.
No, we are officially not moving.
No, okay. That's breaking news. Wow.
Right.
Tweet that out right now. I don't care. We're breaking it right now. Tweet that out. That's huge news, Gus.
It is. No, there was definitely some possibilities for it out there. I was looking forward to it. Just
I told you. See, Jerry texted me the other day and asked if
I saw. Yeah. And I guess the last thing that I would have for you is about movies. Movies coming up. What movie are you most excited to see?
Like for the rest of this year?
For the rest of this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Gladiator tomorrow, and I'm actually excited for it.
Yeah, I'll see it for sure. I see mixed reviews. I was saying on the show today, I have no personal connection to Wicked, so it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know about you, but it's just not my world. There's two movies, I think. Pardon me. One is The Brutalist. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
No.
So that's a Best Picture kind of favorite right now. It's coming out at the end of the year. It's a World War II movie, Holocaust. Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce. The reviews from the critics who've seen it are unbelievable. The movie, Gus, is 3 hours and 50 minutes with an actual 15-minute intermission. So you can actually get up, walk around, do your drugs, do whatever. That's one. The other one is September 5th, which is about the perspective of the people working at ABC News during the terrorist stuff during the 72 Olympics in Munich, which is supposed to be really good. I get a little nervous when it's like the journalists are the heroes kind of thing, but the reviews are good early. That looks like a Best Picture possible nominee. The best movie I've seen this year, I said in the show the other day, is a movie called A Real Pain with Jesse Eisenberg, who wrote it and directed it, and Kieran Culkin co-stars. Great. It's like 92 minutes too. It's a breeze. Remind me a lot of Sideways, one of my favorite movies. Not by far the best movie I've seen this year, but it's the best movie I've seen this year. I just saw Juror Number 2, the Eastwood movie, in New York when I was there 2 weeks ago or last week. I liked it. It's been not a great. Last year was a really good movie year, I thought. This year has been a mixed movie year. But could be saved if one or two of these movies are really good. It's been an okay year. But I'd say those are the two I'm looking forward to the most.
Awesome. And before we wrap it up, it's my favorite question I always get to ask. Any more questions for me?
Justin, do I have any questions for Gus? You got any for me?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Dave?
Do you have any questions for Gus?
I spent an hour and a half with him the other day.
Yeah,
That
he
show's an
did.
hour and a half with Gus.
was like
the
an
other
hour.
day?
I could talk to Gus. The new Gus.
Really?
I could talk to Gus for like 3 hours.
What did you talk to him about?
He asked about did he ask about like your childhood and stuff like that? He's an inquisitive human being now.
Yeah, I guess I talk about it a lot though, so I guess there's not much to say. I
Right.
guess.
Gus,
Right.
Originally, weren't you supposed to do something like blackjack related?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what happened to that?
I mean, it's like I don't have it set up now because of all the changing of times and stuff.
What were you gonna do?
Oh, I have like I did it with Cullinane with Craps last time.
Oh, you
and
tried to
it's
teach him to play?
Yeah, so
Teach
I can
Just how to play blackjack. He stinks.
I can pull it up on the thing and play virtually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We were gonna go on a ride along with Gus during the holiday season.
Boss
But we
approved.
both behind the scene, like
Sure.
Gus is a great guy, right?
The great guy.
Greatest.
Yeah, I love Gus. You
We
know that.
feel like if we are riding along with him with a camera crew, it
You
puts
leave
him in
potential
a
trouble. No,
yeah,
Gus or
it
no?
puts him in a bad
No.
situation.
No.
No,
Well, then you should do it.
because what I'm gonna be in they'll put me in a blue van, which is like the official Amazon branded van. That's already got a camera in it watching me.
Oh, that's
As I
true
drive.
too. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
To me, it's he's going to do a great. That's an advertisement for Amazon because he do a good job, right?
Right.
Gus?
Yeah,
He's happy. He's healthy. Sounds good. Looks good. Everything. We just don't want to fuck it up. That's
you're
all.
not gonna.
Do you
fuck
want?
it
Do
up.
you want them to do it, Gus?
Yeah, no,
Oh, then do it, Dave. No.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah, as long as you're okay. As long as you're okay, you know. as long
yeah.
as you're not-
I ran it by my boss, and they're like, yeah. I was
oh,
like,
then,
okay.
you're good.
And
No,
that's
I'll
and I
say
even
Gus. I'll say Gus. I've said this a million times. Gus is a great guy. I felt terrible, but I think even Gus would say now. I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for you, but given what you were just saying, probably if you took this job, in the mindset you're in today, would have been better than you were a year ago.
yeah. Oh, 100%. It was I was drinking water through a fire hose, and it was a shell shock thing, and I just crippled myself.
Yes.
I think that's the easiest way to explain it. But now it's a completely different aspect. I feel, at least.
Critics have said that Cullinane is not as invested in the show now as he was before. Do you agree with that as a listener of the show?
I mean, it's when you're a TikTok star, how much can you be
That's true. That's
devoted
I have
to
not
anything
talked
but
in
TikTok?
months.
That's true. Yeah, but you're a star, though. That is
That's
part of it.
different. Yeah,
Gus said he has 80 people working for him right now.
that's crazy. I know. I said that.
What was Jeff Bezos? 80 people working for you?
Gus, as the biggest dog lover that I know, have you been offended by some of the words that Kirk has said?
Well, do you still listen to the show, Gus? I don't even know if you listen
Yes.
to the show.
Oh, I listen every day. I just can't listen live in the morning. So as soon as it comes out, I'll listen to it. Right? It's great. Like on my route, I
Thank
just
you,
listen to podcasts.
I appreciate it. Do you understand my Ben Herbstreit take?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
1,000%. Like,
yes, Dave. Dave's like Dave. You could tell Justin. You could tell Dave like wants to agree with the other side. He's like won't jump in.
Wait.
Yes.
What do you mean?
On Ben Herbstreit, because you keep bringing up. He brought Gus on the show today. He's like, oh, you go.
No,
This is pretty. Like you won't.
No,
just
I do
admit
not
you're on
agree.
the other side of the argument. Just admit it.
I do. Yes, I have said I disagree with making my dog the star of the show, a la Gus. To be honest with you, in
Sure,
that video
of course.
yesterday. and
Oh,
everything
that
like
was.
I disagree with that
wild.
mentality. But if my dog died today, I believe it's okay for a friend of mine to give me like a "Are you all right?" type of
It was
gift.
the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns are not
you idiot.
friends.
Who cares? And they're like friends and they're clients in a
No,
way. Like,
they're not
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They took a
You get
picture.
PR gifts all the
They took a
time.
picture of it. They tweeted it out.
Correct.
It wasn't out of the goodness of their heart.
I
think it.
Go ahead,
oh,
Gus.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, to be fair, like if
No, you're
there was a dog on one of my routes that passed away that I like regularly met and pet, like I would give the owner like a card, like I'm sorry for your loss card, but that's as far as I would go. I wouldn't
Yes,
tweet
you would
about
not.
it or that.
Would you do a 12-minute video and put it
No.
on ESPN?
God no.
That's my
Yeah,
point.
but Kirk Herbstreit made the dog a character. That's Kirk's fault. I have said I don't agree with
agree.
that. So if you're a company or an individual who
See, I mean,
wants
Justin, he's very passionate about this.
no, but I just
He
disagree
loves
with
his
it.
dumb dog. That's why. He just loves your stupid fucking dog. What was that?
I just said whatever. I actually feel bad. No, it's a little thing. Like
Yeah.
once you have kids, you fuck over your dog. So I feel really bad about that. But
Oh, your dogs have lived terrible lives.
no, my dog lives a fine life.
It
But
just sits around like it did before.
no, I used to take it for walks, runs every single day. I went to a doggy daycare.
That video of Gus yesterday was psychotic.
It was perfect, but then the
It
dogs
was.
had to ruin it.
No, that's
but-
what I'm saying, though.
yeah.
It was insane.
Camera shuts off.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Is that what your life is like all the time?
So pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah, you bet. So I will give Gus credit. We filmed something for the last live show. He kept them away from me, but they were like, I was like terrified. I was like, if they could break, they break through, we're dead.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't break through anything if they're on the deck.
What were you saying, Justin?
I had a question from earlier in the
Yeah.
show. You said you picked your friend up from getting their wisdom teeth out, so you brought them to your house.
So it's the one that lives up the road. So I brought him to Brockton.
It was on your
After-
street?
like 2 streets over.
Okay. How'd you make friends with this guy? Just wandering around?
No, he was a fraternity friend.
Oh, of course, right. He does not
Yeah.
your sleep fraternity, but yeah, go ahead.
So so I brought him there, and then the doctor's like, he can't be alone for stuff. So I brought him back here. So he's downstairs relaxing with the dogs, chilling, and I'm doing this.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's just
Relax. Sounds like hell being high off of
I'm sure he's just chilling.
coming down from wisdom teeth.
For Christ's sakes, Gus. Jesus Christ. So what I didn't hear all. So Dave was saying the other day. So when you're a dog lover,
Yes.
but my number one, other than the volume of work as an Amazon worker, would be the dogs. That would be my biggest pause. No pun intended. But what would you like? What do you do? Like, you must have got some psychotic dogs, no?
Yeah. So Amazon's rule is if there's a dog, don't go, regardless of who it is,
Oh.
whatever. Like text
Yeah.
the customer, say, hey, you have to bring your dog inside.
You don't do that, do you? You do more.
I judge the situation. Judge the situation.
The Shih Tzu? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jesus Christ.
So I judge it, and if
Yeah.
the dog's obviously a friendly dog, I always have treats in my pocket anyway.
Right. That's
So I'll
another-
go
that's-
easy
I
approach.
bet that's a Ron Augustus move. Postal
I-
work? No.
He used to carry around pepper spray, so I don't think so.
Oh well, maybe not. That's a
Yeah.
I guess that's a
And-
little different. Yeah.
We never had dogs growing up. My dad was anti-dog. I think
Good
as a
for him.
pet.
Did you guys get into this? Like, what's the difference between Gus today and then Gus when he worked for you?
We did a little bit. He seems like he's a
Yeah.
little more clear. But he says he's doing the drugs are a little less,
Okay.
and he's got a little more therapy, and he's talked stuff out. You know, he probably needed before it happened during the show. It's in a way, I don't want to speak for him. It was probably a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe not.
No, definitely. It definitely was. And then like the whole summer thing was just me rushing, panicking move. Like I should have
What thing?
like trying the part of my taking the internship and
Chicago
doing all that.
Yeah.
That was just like I think just me like desperately trying cling on to something, and I should have just taken my time with that more.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you had, this is again, I'm watching these videos over the years. You got a situation where you walk into a house and there's like a lonely housewife in a robe, or you know what I'm talking about, Dave?
I'm still hoping for that.
Hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
That's not reality, I don't think, Dave.
Well, because I leave my like window shades wide open and they come right up to my front door. Like if I was banging my wife, like you know what I mean? I wouldn't. What? I'm just saying.
I guess.
I would think that.
Have you
would see
seen
more
Colin
of that.
banging his wife yet, Gus?
I have not seen. I have not
Okay,
seen.
just want to
that.
make sure. All right, okay.
Have you been spotted by any? Like, oh, are you Gus?
Yes, there was the route I had in Easton. There was 3 minifans on it, and one of them one point came out, yelled at me, and goes, "How's the best stuff coming along? Don't fuck it up."
I know there was one psycho that had tweet a video of him the other day. Did you see that?
I think I did see.
No, I
that.
didn't see
Yes.
that.
Yeah, Jello shirt guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was just you, but it was like Gus just dropping off a package. Like there was nothing to it. I didn't think. No.
There was one time I walked purposely because the first time I went there, he came out and met me. He's like, "Do you know who I am?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know you're yellow shirt guy." Dave had your face like zoomed up huge. I can't forget it.
Is he in the condo? Is he running an association? Or no?
You know, it's I don't. There's no HOA there. I don't think there's an HOA.
They're great.
There can't be.
Who's your? I'll ask you this: who do you have lined up after me? Who do you got? Mike.
I got Mike next.
Okay.
During this, actually, I wrote out. I'm going to try to reach out to Steve because I think that would
That's a
be
good
very
idea. We'll
funny.
do that. Yep.
I think that could be funny. I tried Mutt, but Mutt says no one cares about it.
Unbelievable.
And I go, Mutt, this is like a chance just for you to just talk about yourself. Like that's
Nobody
what
cares about your show. He said.
No one cares. No one would care. Like, 'cause I'm like, we can talk about kind of
I hate when he
your
does this
study,
shit.
PI, and like
Justin, no.
It's the worst. It's the worst quality of them.
Call Mud right now. We'll book it right now. Can we call?
Yeah,
Yes.
hang on one second.
We'll take care of it for you. Because he's like he wants to do it. That's the idea. He loves to talk about himself.
And I first reached out when like the shit with Sanders started to go down. I'm like, we'll avoid all that and just talk about horse racing, like one moment, like that, anything you want.
Right. All right. You call him now?
Yeah.
Gus, what's wrong with you?
Puffing.
Oh, it's a great idea. It seems like it's really healthy.
I'm puffing.
Idiot. He's a moron. Oh, this thing again.
That. It's okay though. I don't want to push it too much because I have him agreeing to do something for the best of.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I had.
You had Jeff on yet?
No, I had Jeff on gaming. I also reached out to Jeff for what's it called? Something to do for the best of, and he hasn't gotten back to me.
He'll do it. He'll do it. Have you had Justin on yet?
No, Justin's also next on my list. And then I also reached out.
Of course. I'll do anything.
How about Mick?
That one I'm with. I hate what.
So what? That's good though.
What aggravated me was that back in the summer, he said he wouldn't have gone that far. And then when he was last in studio, when Justin brought it up, he was like, well, it depends what Gus would have said, then I would have. So I just don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to give anything else show related. We haven't had you in a while. Oh, you were here for the thing.
Yeah, for the
debate. Yeah. Okay. No, I think I'm good unless I'm forgetting something, Justin. I don't know. It's always good to see Gus. We haven't seen him in a while. He's always welcome here. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna be going to my parents, and then
hosting. Huh?
No, God no.
Probably best for everybody.
Well, my parents go all out.
Dogs, I bet.
You don't bring the dogs with you, do you?
I bring just the small one.
The crazy one. That's the crazy one.
Is that the insane one?
Yes.
No, I mean I get her the calm down treat, so she's chill by the time she gets there.
It's the one he said he could bring on a plane.
Imagine being on a plane, and first of all, imagine just without a dog. Gus is next to you on the plane for starters. And then he's got his fucking dog with him. I would
take down that plane.
I would fucking make 9/11 look like the smoothest flight in history. That plane would last 2 seconds. I would dive into the fucking thing. By the way, I think the pilot would be like, "No, don't. You don't have, we're all set. You don't even need to attack. I'm with you on this. We're
Here you go."
Jesus Christ! All right. Well, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. No, this was
anytime,
fun.
Gus. Anytime, buddy.
Just a special boy, never talking no harm. He speaks like he's insane. He's had trouble with his brain since the day he was born. Puffing his vapes, taking his pills. Some people talk about your problems, but Gus never will. Getting through life and no one understands how. So sit down and talk with Gus on Puff Up Peace Now.